Yo, was good. So, in today's video, I want to share with you all something from my past lives. I have been tapping into this red lion, and I've tapped into it at various different periods of my life. But this most recent time has been very pivotal. So, what I'm going to do is take you guys through how I awakened to this red lion form like every single time because like I said, it was different periods of time that I awakened to different levels of this red lion form. But I'm gonna share with you guys all those periods of time. I'm gonna share with you guys what I learned during those periods of time, and also how I use this red lion with inside my physical life right now. I feel like sharing this video will just be cool because you guys get to understand me a bit more, some things I've been tapping into and stuff like that. And it also kind of can show you guys the process of awakening to certain past lives and what that might look like. Now, the last thing I will say is that I already made videos on Patreon sharing information from my past lives. Okay. I do want to say that real quick. So if you guys are ever interested in the stuff that I did, you can look at these videos over here. You feel me? It's inside of a playlist that's called Galactic Origins Class. You feel me? I have managed videos inside here, but these was at the bottom. Talk about my history on Lyra and eventually get into the Leo constellation with the Thousand Years War and stuff like that. You feel me? But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this video. So, drop a like real quick and subscribe if you're new. Now let's get into it. Like my video for real. Stop playing games. Support your boy. Dab. You want more videos like this? Support your boy. Anyway, what is the red lion form? So when I first awakened to it, I kind of just understood it as like a feline form that I accessed, which was very passionate, very fierce, very focused. These beings were actually the red the red lions were actually very rare, right? Like at the main period of time that most people on Earth were on Lyra, because most Lyrans were on Lyra at a certain period of time. You feel me? That period of time, red lions were pretty rare. Like it damn near seemed like a myth. You feel me? But they were always seen as like these as like the most fierce Lyran warriors and stuff like that. They're like the most fierce, the most focused. Whenever you see them, get the fuck out their way because they're focused on a mission. They're trying to get some shit done. You feel me? Yeah, so I'm explaining a bit more about the red lion and kind of how it operates as I share how I awaken to this form. So, looking into this forum, right? This was way back during like July to August of 2024. You feel me? I was learning a lot about celestials and I was going through different kinds of training and things like that. You feel me? Um when it comes to celestials are like the first kind of god being. You feel me? Celestials are beings that are immortal and they also have the ability to manipulate certain aspects of reality. You feel me? They can't create whole realities like they can't create their own realm like a celestial god can, but they can definitely manipulate certain aspects of reality like time and space and stuff like that. You feel me? And some of them can even make dimensional spaces, which can manifest physically as stars. You feel me? But I was also heavily into Dragon Ball Z as I was watching that, as I was doing this shit. Hold on, I mean, because Dragon Ball Z is actually based off of Lyran and Palladian culture. You feel me? But I'm gonna explain that in a little bit. I want to show y'all something real quick. Hold up. I literally made this video June 25th, 2024, and I this was during the period of time where I was tapping into the red line stuff for the first time and Celestials and all that type of shit, and I understood how Dragon Ball Z is into lines and Palladians. To keep it simple, Super Saiyans are literally white people, right? who come from essentially monkeys and have the power to charge up with energy and light, and they fight with energy and light. You feel me? Pleiadians have primate genes because Pleiadians come from felines who mix their genes with primate genes in order to make human forms. And now you have these white blondes who can power themselves up with light and stuff like that. You feel me? Come on now. Anyway, yeah, I was tapping into celestials and all this kind of stuff. You feel me? And I was tapping also into the blue spirit dragon, which is going to be important a bit later. Now, at some point, I was tapping into a very important energy which dealt with red and white. You feel me? Which is the same color as like my original feline form. You feel me? I'm not gonna say now. Red and white really is important for me. You feel me? I'm not gonna say what form it was that I accessed because it's pretty much like a more godlike form, and I don't like sharing that. I don't like sharing super high forms like that publicly because it starts to, I don't know, it might give me a bad look or some shit. I don't know. You feel me? I just don't like how niggas might perceive me talking about God shit. You feel me? But yeah, when I was awakening to that, I dyed some of my hair red, and then I awakened. My hair is kind of faded now. It's not as red as it was before, but before it was actually like blonde with like just like a little bit of red. You feel me? Now it's like all red. It's more like brownish red because it's fading. But anyway, I, I dyed my hair red and I awakened to it the day after. Now I can't remember if I was just high like on weed or like if I smoked DMT with the weed, but I know that I was in a Discord class with my boy King Cash. Discord down below for those who want to join a Discord that's full of different star seeds and spiritual people and stuff like that. And so many different classes over there, and you feel me? Anyway, um, I know that after that, I started doing some shit and I was tapping in and I kept on getting flashes of this red lion. You feel me? And then from here, I was tapping into all the memories. And then I asked Cash about it. And then I decided to go to the astral with it. And during this period of time, I was fighting a lot with these with the whole celestial hierarchy and stuff. I was fighting all these different beings like deviants, aspirants, you feel me, titans, overlords and shit. Like I was fighting mad beings, bro. So this energy really helped a lot. And now I'm about to share what I learned. But I first want to share the exact message that Cash sent to me. And also, actually, before I share that, let me mention the red and white thing again. Yeah, my original feline form was actually a female. And I was pretty much like a white feline, but I had like a red stripe over my eye, and like some of my hair was red too. You feel me? But yeah, let me share the message about the red lions that Cash sent to me. Alright, my bad. I actually don't have the text because it's super deep in our messages from last year, and I can't just look it up because iMessage got an index and all kinds of shit. Long story short, they just mentioned how like the red lines were like a very, because I asked him specifically because Cash is like the most Lyran that I know. You feel me? And most niggas, I'd never seen anyone talk about red lions, and I felt like if anybody else knew about them besides me, it was gonna be him, and he did. He was like, yeah, they're like a very rare race of red felines. Usually, a feline would die and get reborn as a red lion and stuff like that. And when everybody saw them, they would have to get the fuck about their way, and they were on mission mode heavy. And when I had that form, right, like I said, I was a female at first. You feel me? And yeah, I pretty much died and came back as a red lion and started fucking some shit up. You feel me? I'm about to let me share what I learned. Because as I share what I learned, I'm going to explain what actually qualifies a person to become a red lion. Because I'm not sure if I even knew. I'm not even sure if I knew what caused it. You feel me? At this period of time when I was tapping into it, but I found out later, so I'll share that. But first thing, right, that I learned is why I had this certain red hair back in Lyra, like why I had like the red fur of my eye, because pretty much my dad was a red lion also. Like My dad used the Red Lion form way back in early lion history, back during like when you had freaking lions fighting with tigers. Like most things don't even know. That's like early Lyra, like when you had lions fighting amongst themselves. Those wars never got like too crazy. You feel me? But that was a period of time. Then you had like the Lyran and Avian wars, which my dad was heavy inside of, and he had the Red Lion form back then. You feel me? But after a certain period of time, it was mad peace on Lyra, so like there was no point to fight. So that's why you didn't really see any red lions, and it started seeming like it was like a myth. But when I was born, I had like this red like furrow from my eye, and I never knew why. Like I always saw that back, like because I knew my Lyran form for years. Well, I ain't gonna say years. Let me not say that. I knew my Lyran form for a good period of time before this experience with the red lion. And I always wondered why I had that red fur, and now I understood why. It's because it was like a marking that I have the ability to access the red lion. You feel me? I also understood how my dad trained me for it because I was always seeing how my dad wanted me to meditate a certain kind of way, but I never understood what it was. Like I was always getting these memories, but when the red lion shit popped up, I kind of saw why. Because he was trying to teach me to activate the red lion spirit. You feel me? Or I should just say the Lyran spirit. You feel me? Because these powers come from the Lyran spirit, which I'm gonna share a bit later on inside this video. But to focus it on what I knew at this period of time, I knew that my dad was trying to train me to activate something to maybe become a red lion. He wanted me to change into a red lion form. Because with my dad could change, but he never really did. Because if he changed, most of the time, if you become a red lion, you're gonna be in that mission mode for a long period of time, and you usually can't just switch back. If you master it to a certain level, you can switch back, but most of the time you would just awaken this form, and then you would just do your shit, and then you would die. You feel me? Most people can't even activate this form at will, but some people can activate it at will. But when they do that, they're inside that mode for a long period of time to the point where they're gonna either fight and die, or when they stop fighting, they're just gonna go to sleep for a long ass period of time. Anyway, he was trying to get me to activate the red lion, but I couldn't do it because I didn't experience the emotions yet that I needed to actually activate it. You feel me? Because my dad didn't fully know what exactly truly led to the red lion. He just knew that intense emotion and anger and all kinds of other shit led to this red lion for him. You feel me? So he was trying to train me to meditate in certain ways and stuff like that, but I could never activate it. You feel me? Until I eventually did. I'm gonna explain why that was. But I also understood how rare they are. Like I said, I never seen a red lion until I tapped into my own red lion lifetime. You feel me? I also understood how I became one, and now I'm gonna share that story. So pretty much the reason why I became one, right? Technically anybody has the ability, any Lyran has the ability to become a red lion, especially the royals of Lyra. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, you feel me? I don't always like to share this type of shit, but I'm about 13 minutes in. If you're still inside this video, you probably actually fuck with me, and you're not one of those niggas who kind of just click on the video for a little bit to just see what's up and then dip the fuck off. You feel me? I'm saying that because all the fuck niggas probably clicked off by now. You feel me? If you're still in the video, you're probably a real nigga. So I'll share some real nigga shit with you. Back in Lyra, I was a princess. You feel me? Now, to me, that's really not that deep. To some of y'all, it's not gonna be that deep. Other people are like, "Oh my god, princess, whatever, whatever." You feel me? Anyway, just know I was a princess. I was a princess in Lyra, right? And all the Lyran royals have a closer connection to the Lyran spirit. Now, granted, I didn't really understand what the Lyran spirit was at this period of time, but I'm just saying that because for a royal, it's way easier for them, especially if that royal is part of a family of people that already were red lions at one point, because their connection to the Lyran spirit is stronger than most other Lyrans. You feel me? Now, with me, I was seeing how what activated it was being willing to fight so hard that I'm willing to die for the mission. You feel me? And I was seeing that pretty much as a feline, right? As Princess Elira, at some point I got captured and I was locked up on some sex slavery shit, right? That built so many emotions of like anger. I mean, there was fear involved, anger, sadness, a lot of rage though. You feel me? That's the main important part is the rage and the anger that I felt from that shit, being locked up against my will, not being able to fight against the people who held me captive. You feel me? At some point though, I got free and stuff like that, and I became part of like these refugee Lyras and stuff like that, or like these pretty much it was like other Lyras that escaped slavery who were forming like a group to break other Lyras out of slavery. You feel me? And there was this one mission that we had where pretty much I knew, like, since I was already held captive and stuff like that, I was already very aware of where a lot of the slavery spots were at. You feel me? And there was this one big ass slavery spot that I knew for a fact that if we went here, a lot of us were gonna fucking die. But I was willing to do that shit if it was going to allow other Lyras to become free. So I went inside that bitch and I fought my fucking heart out, bro. And I was willing to die for that shit. You feel me? And at some point, I died and I got reborn as a red lion. And when I got reborn, I pretty much grew up very fast, and I was very aware of my mission and kind of who I was. I shared this story more in depth on my Patreon, though. You feel me? That's why I showed the videos where I share my past lives, my galactic origins classes with the Genie Galactic history, where I show you guys, or I take you guys a bit more in depth through my journey and stuff like that. You feel me? But anyway, yeah, me and the people I was with were fighting dumb hard and was willing to die for this shit. You feel me? And that's why at this period of time, we started seeing like a surge of red lions popping up because number one, the people that were with me, right? Some of them also got reborn as red lions, you feel me? But then number two, because I was a red lion, I kind of knew what would activate it, and then I taught the teachings to other people on Lyra as we were fighting, you feel me? But yeah, the last thing I learned at this period of time was like the main traits and abilities. Mainly like being like it's very fierce, it's very fiery, it's very passionate. Cause like even though like it has like a certain anger and rage, it's more about like having like fierceness and passion and determination. You feel me? And with this, it allows you to easily get things done without hesitation, and it allows you to break free from anything which is holding you back, which was very important for me at that period of time when I was fighting all these different kinds of beings, especially ones that tried to pretty much keep me suppressed and make me succumb to like fake realities and timelines for myself which keep me suppressed and stuff like that. I was breaking out of all that shit, bro. Nigga, in fact, I was so intense with this energy that certain shit would happen in physical reality that had nothing to do with spiritual attacks, but I'm seeing everything as a fucking attack. So at one point I went to the astral to go fight a being, and there was no being to fight. I'm just in the astral angry as fuck looking for somebody who's not even there. You feel me? But anyway, all right, boom. So now I'm gonna talk about how I tapped into it again. You feel me? So I tapped into it for a second time back during January 2025. So Evil Lions, right, kept on popping up for me for months. And then they popped up on me one morning, which made me hit up Cash. You feel me? Now, when I hit up Cash, right, he was like, yo, bro, it's wild you're saying this shit because I literally was just in the astral and I had these evil lions fucking with me. Now, it's crazy because when I sent off this text, it's like, I ain't even really like expect nothing too crazy. It's just the fact that like evil lions kept being highlighted to me for months, and then I just woke up and they kind of just pulled up on me. You feel me? Like, why y'all niggas here? You feel me? What the fuck? Like, they were essentially just talking shit. You feel me? But the energy felt linked with Cash too, so I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna ask Cash about the shit. You feel me? So he was like, yeah. Now, because he said he just experienced them, it made us tap into our history with them in Leo, because in Leo there was like a Dark Legion of Lions. You feel me? Now from here, I eventually tapped into the star Zosma after seeing a picture of Zosma, because like I was looking up Leo constellation, right? Because we fought these beings a lot in Leo, and I seen Zosma. I'm like, yo, Zosma, that shit. I remember that shit. You feel me? And I was tapping like once I saw the star, I was just seeing all the images and memories. You feel me? So from here, I eventually saw the mission. Let me show y'all what that shit looked like. You feel me? I got a picture of this shit. I made pictures for this shit. You feel me? So here's Zosma, right? You feel me? It's like a lava like planet, but it also got these sacred temples from the Zosmari and shit. These are the Zosmari right here. You feel me? I made these pictures too. The more feminine ones have dreads, and the masculine ones are bald. But masculine don't mean that they're actually male. Like you can have a female that's in a masculine body. You feel me? She acts more masculine, but she's still a female. You feel me? Their culture is very dope. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, this is Ozma. In this portal right here, it leads to right here the celestial realm of power and stuff like that. Which I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna mention this place in a little bit. You feel me? But yeah, this is Ozma. You feel me? This is Ozma. So yeah, very lava planet, but it also has a lot of celestial energy there too and stuff like that. You feel me? Anyway, yeah, from here, I was seeing the mission that I got sent on, right? Along with how I eventually got thrown it, because pretty, like I said, it's a lava planet, right? And the mission I was sent on was to go there and help out the Zazmari who are getting fucked with by evil lions, you feel me? And also some other beings too, every here and there, you feel me? But when I got there, right, at some point, it's like, nigga, at some point, bro, I was dead ass like on some more like assassin like shit. You feel me? And there's like I was going into hiding a lot. Like I would go into hiding and then like see opportunity, pop out, fuck niggas up, go back into hiding, all that shit. You feel me? I shared that more in depth once again on my Patreon. You feel me? But anyway, yeah, bro, I was going into hiding a lot. You feel me? And at some point, like I was found and I couldn't run no more, and they got me and they threw me inside. They literally threw me in lava. You feel me? Them niggas threw me in lava, but I was able to merge with the lava while activating my red lion form. You feel me? And this is because of certain things that I learned, right? So let me show y'all some other shit real quick. Let me pause the video real quick for y'all. Hold up. All right, boom. So before I got to Zosma, right? I went here and I went here. You feel me? I actually made videos about this one right here. There's a video on YouTube in my astral projection playlist where I mentioned the quantum galaxy and what I learned and stuff like that. You feel me? That shit was wild as fuck. And one thing I learned here is how to pretty much become etheric, like how to make my body etheric, how to make it back physical and stuff like that. Here, I learned to heavily overcome death. Cause while in Leo, I was a black lion a lot of period of time. You feel me? But there's also like a black, there's a black Lyran spirit. You feel me? Which not all black lions have activated it. But one aspect of the activation is that you could overcome death in certain kinds of ways. You feel me? It's still possible to kill a black lion, don't get me wrong. But with the black lion spirit activated, bro, it's very hard to kill these. Like, these motherfuckers could overcome death in crazy ass ways. So, because of that shit, when I was thrown inside the fucking lava, bro, I was not about to die. And I was able to make my body etheric and then merge with the etheric energy of the lava, and then also activate my red lion form too. So hold up real quick, right? Alright, this was essentially me coming out that lava, bro. Them niggas fucked up. Cause like this shit should have killed me. I'm not gonna cap. It only didn't cause the shit that I fucking learned. You feel me? With the how to merge with etheric energy, how to become etheric and shit like that, and all kinds of shit. It's the only reason why I didn't die and shit. You feel me? But also, I want to show y'all something else real quick too. If y'all want to understand more about the Lyran spirit and the different gifts and powers, like the red one, the black one, the blue one, the gray one, all kinds, you feel me? Made a video for that shit on my Patreon, you feel me? But yeah, anyway, nigga, I saw the mission about how the fuck I got thrown in that lava and shit like that, you feel me? So eventually, yeah, nigga, I was thrown inside the lava, nigga, and when that happened, I became etheric, right? Then I merged with the etheric energy, right? Of the lava, you feel me? And then I was coming out of that shit, reforming myself physically, overcoming death, and I started activating the red Lyran spirit as I was doing all this shit. You feel me? So yeah, then eventually after I fucked them all up, after I fucked them niggas all up, that is when I eventually went through the celestial realm of power and went through My fault. Hold up. All right, so because I'm looking at my notes that I wrote down, and I kind of typed this shit weird, but essentially I went to the celestial realm of power because there's a portal in Zosma, which I already showed you guys, right? You feel me? Wait, that's the wrong PowerPoint. Is it this one? It's over here, right? That shit going low. Yeah. So there's a portal, right, that leads to the celestial realm of power, which is all that's it's all these Jones. You feel me? It's list from my power, right? It looks heavily like Zosma, but it's like more like clouds involved and shit and stuff like that. You feel me? But anyway, understand this too. The Zosmari were actually at first celestials that lowered themselves down to become like aliens that were like more physical and shit. You feel me? But anyway, um, yeah, I ended up in the celestial realm of power, and I went through training and got initiated and stuff like that, and I was learning how to perfect the red ray of power. You feel me? Because there's different gates, halls. There's different gates, halls, and chambers. You feel me? Um, there's I forgot because I know there's like halls of death and gate. I think it's gates of vitality, the hall of death, and the chamber of rebirth. There's just 12 of these though for the different forms of power on all 12 planes. You feel me? I went through the first seven and I was able to get like this red diamond and shit. You feel me? So yeah, I was seeing all that shit. You feel me? I was being trained to perfect the red ray of power, and at some point I got a red diamond. And let me say this too. Technically I went through all 12, but I only remembered seven of them. It's weird. I'm still trying to understand like how that worked because I had to go through all of them to get the red diamond inside my head. You feel me? But it's like, and that's what this picture is right here, by the way. You feel me? With the red diamond in my head and shit. What I mean, yeah, that's what that shit is. You feel me? But yeah, I only remembered like seven of them. It was weird. But anyway, um, yeah, and then yeah, this led me to get a red diamond inside my forehead and become King of Zosma. You feel me? Also, there was one night when I was tapping into this energy again, and when I was meditating and tapping into, it, I got a fucking nosebleed. Like I was activating that I was tapping to the red light shit, and then I got a fucking nosebleed. You feel me? So yeah, now here's what I learned because this is where I start to understand what was truly happening. You feel me? So number one, I always knew because when I was first tapping into the red line when I was a female, right? When I was a white female that became red, right? I was always told that I mastered the form as a man. I just never understood when and how, but now I saw when and how. It was in Zosma and stuff like that. You feel me? And I also learned that because of the quantum. Oh, and also the Zosmar, because the Zosmari started learning how to harness power from like how they learned how to harness spiritual power and energy. You feel me? Which they taught me some things too, which I also used to harness the power of the lava. You feel me? But yeah, I learned that because of the quantum realm place and the Zosmari teachings that I could merge with lava, which was actually some kind of like celestial lava that I'm still trying to understand. And I also saw the training that I went through, and I understood more about power in general, along with how to perfect your ability to harness and express power within inside of your life. Now, with that, and also how to not be attached to certain forms of energy and vitality, how to actually drop certain forms of power to gain higher forms of power, or more subtle forms, I should say. You feel me? Because the power, when I say higher, I mean more subtle. And if something is more subtle, it's actually less powerful in the physical because it's actually like more light and stuff like that. You feel me? Anyway, I also was learning about how pretty much cause in Zosma you can I say this? This is a little bit classified. Long story short, there's a because there's certain classified info. Long story, just understand that when I was in Zosma, right, I eventually realized that what was happening is that we're activating this power that's in our blood, right? The Lyran spirit flows through our blood. And if you activate that Lyran spirit, your blood kind of activates and you can eventually become a red lion. You feel me? Now the red now when you see the red, That's not your blood. You feel me? Because when you activate like the blue Lyran spirit, for example, you kind of activate the blue Lyran spirit and you still activate it inside of your blood. But long story short, blood was a very important thing. Understanding the energy inside your blood and the life force inside of your blood is actually very important to the Red Lions. Like it's really important to them. You feel me? And that's when I understood that, oh, I'm activating this Lyran spirit. The power is literally in my blood. This Lyran spirit is running through my blood, and when I activate it, I could become a red lion. You feel me? And it's like when you fully master the form, you're able to go red. Like you're able to like activate like the whole, because like you can activate the Lyran spirit without turning red. When you first are able to turn red, it's because you activate the Lyran spirit, right? You activate the Lyran spirit, and actually, this is probably what I learned. Now, I'll say that for the third time, for the third and final time, I was tapping into this shit because all I knew at this period of time was the fact that you activate the Lyran spirit and then you become red. You feel me? That's pretty much all that I knew at this period of time, and that's what I learned. You feel me? When I mentioned the third time I tapped into it, I'll talk about the more in depth of what it means to go red and how it happens. You feel me? But anyway, the way that I used the red lion spirit or the red lion spirit at that period of time was that I used it and I would mix it with other powers all the time. Like I would mix my red Lyran spirit with like my dragon flames all the time whenever I needed to fight or get some work done. You feel me? Like the energy really like allowed me to stay focused and determined to complete my work. And I'll usually be inside that red line energy until I accomplish that goal. I also use the lessons that I learned from that period of time to harness different forms of power, along with relearn the lessons that I learned in the celestial realm of power. Because when I found out about this second time becoming a red lion, I definitely went back to the astral and I relived the lives in the astral. I went back to the celestial realm of power and stuff like that. And yeah, I've really learned how to not become attached to certain kinds of energies, like how to like drop certain forms of power and vitality for other forms. That's been like a very important thing actually. You can't get attached to certain energies, bro. You feel me? Which I'm kind of getting attached to the energy of water right now. I'm not going cat, but I'm still like able to like right now. I got on some red. You like I do have on a water necklace right now. You feel me? Is y'all can't see, but it's right here. But I also got on that red. You feel me? I'm able to like mix and match and switch and shit. You feel me? So that's kind of what I learned. That's kind of how I used it at that period of time, just to kind of like get mad work done and to stay determined and focused and kind of just get on my shit. You feel me? Now tapping into the third time was the most recent time. You feel me? This was like end of March, beginning of April. You feel me? And this led to a whole slew of shit. So the way I tapped into it for the third time, right, is the fact that Cash, I was talking to Cash, right? And he mentioned a Fire Lion Temple. And the Fire Lion Temple is actually a temple that I built. So I told him about it and we learned about it more together because I already knew about the temple way back in January. You feel me? But and I knew about how I built it too. But I kind of just left it at that. Like I didn't actually like relive myself going to the temple. You feel me? So anyway, since Cash mentioned it, now I'm revisiting this shit. You feel me? With him though, and we were kind of seeing our training and the things that we kind of did together, and also what we did after the training, which is what led me to discover the 1,000 Years War, along with all the kind of different forms that I had during the 1,000 Years War. You feel me? And I also saw how, ooh, fuck. I saw how going red was just one aspect of the Lyran spirit, and that there's really several different abilities from the Lyran spirit. And I actually relived the lives, the abilities, and I used them. I'm currently actually in a certain phase of that right now. You feel me? Um, the order was like red, then magenta, then blue, then purple, and then that led to the other stuff like the gray and the silver, then gray mastered and stuff like that. I mentioned these things. I made so in these videos right here, right? Specifically this one. I mentioned the 1,000 Years War and kind of what that was like. Um, like I said, inside this video, I mentioned the different powers of the different aspects of the Lyran spirit, and then there's one more thing I want to show. Yeah, this joint. You feel me? These are examples of what I look like. You feel me? Like here's the red shit. Here's magenta. Here's purple. Here's like silver. You feel me? Here's red mixed with silver. Another red mixed with silver. This is called true silver. This is like a dark gray. This is like gray mastered and shit like that. You feel me? But yeah, I started seeing like all this shit. You feel me? It was a lot of shit. You feel me? But anyway, um, yeah, cause like with me and Cash, right? So pretty much, I had built the temple at first, right? I built the temple shortly after, um, my phone, bro. I built the temple. My phone. I'm getting. I had to get back to my notes and shit. I built the temple shortly after I became king of Zosma. You feel me? And the temple taught a lot about the Lyra spirit and shit. You feel me? Now I eventually went back. Now after that, I eventually ascended my spirit, and then got reborn, and then went through my temple. And I also was telling Cash about it, and he pulled up. Then we went through that joint together. Then at some point, Cash's twin came, and then we did the trading with them and stuff like that. Then at some point, him, and his twin fought a lot in Leo, doing like different kinds of battles and stuff like that. You feel me? And then after that, that's when we eventually like all split. And that's when I saw the 1,000 Years War. And then 1,000 Years War led me to discover more about the different uh, aspects of the Lyran spirit, right? So here's kind of like what I learned now and how I'm using it now. So what I learned, right? So number one, right? I realized that when it came to going red, there's so many different levels, and I was seeing how it was also connected with fire. Because you saw how I mentioned how I had the red lion shit mixed with the lava. You feel me? But all right. So long story short, so here's like the levels of the Lyran spirit, right? And when it comes to going red, so you're able any Lyran is able to activate the Lyran spirit, right? Now, once the Lyran spirit is activated, right? The way that you activate the basic Lyran spirit, because the first activation of it is the red one. You feel me? When it comes to like the blue and stuff like that, the blue starts tapping into the celestial Lyran spirit. You feel me? But with the basic Lyran spirit, right? That shit is red. You feel me? Now, when you first activate it, right? The reason why it's able to activate is because you're willing to fight so hard for something higher than yourself that you're willing to die. It's like you're willing to fight so hard that you die, and you're doing it for like a higher purpose and stuff like that. You feel me? So that helps you to activate the Lyran spirit. And when you do that, you don't turn red yet. You're kind of just like a more enhanced Lyran who's like stronger, faster, more agile, all that shit. You feel me? But the Lyran spirit can get deactivated. However, if you die with the Lyran spirit activated, you will get reborn as a red lion. You feel me? And then as a red lion, if you complete your mission as a red lion and then have that whole period where you kind of like just go to sleep for a long period of time and then re-become a regular feline, you can eventually learn how to activate the Lyran spirit again and then fully turn yourself red whenever the fuck you want to. It's like you kind of need to already taste the energy of going red before you can actually go red. You feel me? Because like going red has different levels. You have the first level of just activating the Lyran spirit, but then you have actually turning red. You feel me? Now there was also something else, because back in Lyra, there was like periods of time where like you would have some Lyrans who kind of like get like so passionate that like their fucking hair turns on fire, and that's because the Lyran spirit, you can actually manifest the Lyran spirit physically as a fire. You feel me? And then as you do, you could also learn to control external fires because you merge the Lyran spirit with external fire. And then you're able to manipulate that shit. You feel me? So the Lyran spirit can actually be turned into, can actually manifest physically as fire. You feel me? But yeah. And then I learned about the celestial Lyran spirit because so the spirit of Lyra, right? The great Lyran spirit is like a great celestial lion. It's like a great celestial lion, right? That's also why lions are the leaders of Lyra, because Lyra has many felines, but the lions are like the main leaders. You feel me? Because the great spirit of it is like this great celestial It's this great celestial lion spirit that also encapsulates all of Lyra. You feel me? Now, with that being said, that spirit has a more physical purpose and a more spiritual purpose. The regular Lyran spirit is for more physical things, which is why when you go red, you become like a physical beast. You become more focused, determined. You can fight harder. You don't gotta only fight with it. Like for me, I'll use it in my life to like make mad videos, for example, or to like make a course. You feel me? Shit like that, or like to make a PowerPoint. You feel me? It's more physical based. The celestial vibrant spirit, which starts off with the blue energy, is more about teaching and higher guidance and spiritual wisdom. Now, you can combine blue and red to make purple. And at that point, you're constantly getting guidance from the Lyran spirit about how to do more physically enhanced shit. So the blue shit is giving you guidance, right? But that guidance is telling you to do certain shit in the physical with the red energy. So that's how the red and blue mix to get purple. But yeah, I was learning all those things, and I eventually learned about the Anuhazi too. The Anuhazi are pretty much like godlike Lyrans. You feel me? Hold up, let me try to get a picture of them real quick. Hold up. Here's an example of an Anuhazi. You feel me? This one is currently tapped into the gray Lyran spirit. But there's also, I forgot, I could just show y'all this shit too. Let me move that out the way. You feel me? These are Anuhazi right here. You feel me? They're essentially God. They're essentially like the gods of the Lyrans. You feel me? But now I gotta switch this image back to my regular background. Hold up. All right, boom. So yeah, I discovered the Anuhazi and who they are, and they taught me a lot of shit about the different Lyran spirits and stuff like that. You feel me? It was a lot of shit I learned from them. You feel me? But yeah, the way that I use this now is the fact that I pretty much use like the red energy when I gotta be action based in regard to like my own will and what I want to do in the world. Like whenever I gotta like whenever I want to achieve a certain goal, I use the red shit. You feel me? I use magenta though, because magenta's used to like because like when you're in the red, you're more like fierce and passionate. It's kind of like it's a fire that's like all over the place. Magenta is like a more structured like focused drive. It's not it's like So like imagine if I'm fighting you with the red shit, I'm gonna be slicing you everywhere, you feel me? With magenta, it's just gonna be one cut your head off, you feel me? So I use magenta to focus my will in a more structured way, you feel me? I'll use the purple when I feel like I need to increase my willpower, but I also need to be guided still by my higher spirit, you feel me? Black and silver, which I showed, which is this one right here. Goddamn, my fault for the lag, bro. I need more RAM on my computer. You feel me? But yeah, the black and silver and shit like that. You feel me? That shit became like a fucking like a base form. You feel me? It became like a base form when I need to like cause when I'm inside the silver energy, it's like my spirit could take over my body whenever the fuck it needs to. You feel me? I rarely use true silver or dark gray, but when I do, it's usually in the astral. Gray mastered, I also use that in the astral and also when I need to learn from my spirit and kind of just let my spirit kind of just do what the fuck it has to do. Cause like the gray energy is able to take over my vessel. It's like my spirit taking me over. I get possessed in a more full way by my spirit and shit like that. You feel me? But that all starts with the like you literally can't activate any of the other Lyran spirits unless you activate the red one. Like even with the black one, that's why you have black lions who can't fully activate the black Lyran spirit because they could never go red to begin with. Because with going red, you can't go red unless you want to actually die for something higher than yourself. And most of the like a lot well there So you have a lot of black lions that are evil, but also a lot of black lions aren't evil. But the black lions that are evil, they're not trying to die for nothing higher than themselves, so they can't access the red lion spirit. You feel me? They also can't access the black shit. But it's like they can have like subtle sparks of it. So like a black lion in general will always be harder to kill than any other lion. You feel me? But the black Lyran spirit could only truly be activated to keep you from dying in order for a mission that's higher than yourself. It's like you overcome death because this mission is beyond you. But you first need to be willing to die in the first place with the red shit. You feel me? You need to be willing to die to overcome death. Uh. And it really is true because if you're willing to die, that means that you're able to detach. And if you're able to detach, you can detach from physical energy and then channel higher energies. Because the reason why it's harder to die off the black Lyran spirit, well, there's actually several reasons why. But one of the reasons why is because even if you have ran out of physical energy, you can have the Lyran spirit give you energy that keeps you alive. You feel what I'm saying? But you can't get that energy if you weren't willing to die in the first place. Because being willing to die, you can detach from like physical energy and all those other energies and become more accepting of the spiritual energy that's going to eventually keep you from dying. You feel me? But yeah, that's what that's awakening to the red lion and kind of what it came with and how I use some of the stuff. You feel me? If you want to get more in depth information from my past lives and what it was like in my past lives, watch these vids on my Patreon and stuff like that. But without further ado, I'm gonna end the video right here. I love you all. Catch my next video. Subscribe if you're new. Like my video. Love you all. Peace. The freak out.